The June 30th Supreme Court ruling to continue to offer birthright citizenship to the children of illegal immigrants born on U.S. soil is a direct slap in the face to Black America. I don't care how sorry you feel for these people. I don't care how sympathetic you are towards these people. This is the Supreme Court spitting in the face of Black America, continuing the narrative and the practice of purposely displacing Black Americans, replacing them with illegal, criminal, alien migrants, empowering illegal immigrants, empowering the children of illegal immigrants, when statistics and study after study has found that African Americans are the most disproportionately impacted in a negative way by the influx of illegal immigrants. They directly compete with African Americans. They occupy the same spaces as African Americans to bring more of them in and continue to empower not only them, but their children, their offspring, illegal, is to say that you really don't care about the future of Black America as a whole, and that the only thing that matters is to continue to feed more slaves into the United States of America to work low-level, low-wage jobs that undermine the American citizens' ability to secure gainful employment, livable wages, and everything else the American citizen is entitled to being an American. We're going to break this all down. I feel very passionately about this. It's one of those things where I feel Black America is divided over it, but you have people in this section of America who have toxic empathy. People who feel like victimhood and remaining on the bottom is a sign of power, right? They feel like that's some type of, unique special position. They feel like that's some type of win, right? So Justice Clarence Thomas, he wrote the dissent on this. It was an absolute masterclass. And really, the opinion that was written by different judges, it really didn't even make sense. Ketanji Brown Jackson, clearly she's an op. Roberts, everyone who voted to continue to give birthright citizenship to the children of illegal immigrants, they undermine America. They undermine what it means. They diminish and devalue what it means to be an American. And you have people already in the comments saying, you're a MAGA sellout. I'm a sellout because I don't want illegal immigrants, people who broke the law and came into the country illegally, to have more influence, power, and political power than Black Americans. This is where we disconnect. These people continuously talk about, I want a livable wage, my rights. But then you dilute your rights. You destroy your ability to even gain a livable wage by allowing illegals to come in and work in this country who can be treated any kind of way by the people who refuse to hire you in favor of them. I'm Brandon Tucker. Welcome to Defiant Brandon. Welcome back to Accountability. We're going to get into it. Before we start officially, I want to let you know, this is how this channel works. I will play a clip. In real time, I will react to the clip that I played in the subject that we are talking about. That's the way it works. I don't know what you guys would prefer. You can tell me in the comments. I'm looking, I'm watching, but that's how this channel works as of right now. So you wait for the clip to play, then I react to the clip. That's how we do that. I do put the link in the comments in case people want to come up and offer an argument. I feel like this should always be open for discussion, giving people access to express their opinion, and you're welcome. It's already in the comment pinned to the top. Now, what I want to do is I want to play a clip from CNN about the birthright citizenship ruling, and then I want to go over the dissent that Justice Clarence Thomas wrote, why he knew and understands that offering birthright citizenship to the children of illegal immigrants is something that will undermine and ultimately destroy America if it is not, if it is not dealt with. Black America, like I said before, we're split. Part of us have a segment of us have common sense and understand the dangers of this and why it needs to be stopped. The other half of us just want attention by jumping on TV, celebrating being conquered by illegal immigrants. If you represent the smallest demographic, the smallest of all the major groups, Black, white, Hispanic, then Asians, but I wouldn't say they're a major group because their numbers are kind of small. But you're the smallest of the top 3 major groups in America. Every single illegal person that comes into this country has a direct impact on your ability to get the things you want. Understand that. Every single illegal immigrant that comes into this country, every kid they drop, push out, that kid takes away from the resources that you're claiming you just can't get enough of. So you're screaming for socialism because you're saying you're not getting enough, while simultaneously celebrating and fighting for more people to come into the country to take a piece of the pie. You say the billionaires and trillionaires are shrinking the pie. Okay, let's say you're right, which you're not. The pie is shrinking, but you're voting and fighting for more people to illegally enter the country to take a piece of that pie. Understand the contradiction here. None of this is lies. There's a link at the top. You can come in and tell me where I'm lying, but this is the fact. You're saying that the pie is shrinking. You're saying there's not enough pie at the party, but you're voting for more guests to be allowed into the country to take a bigger and bigger piece of the pie. We're getting into the clip, and then I'll let call-ins come in. Y'all can come in and talk about this.
Our intern just sprinted across the lawn. We have this, the Supreme Court rejecting President Trump's effort to end birthright citizenship through executive order. This is a right that has been recognized in the Constitution for over 100 years. And subsequently, Congress passed laws with language that mirrored what was in the 14th Amendment, saying that if you are born here, you are a citizen of the United States. Now, in his first campaign, President Trump floated the idea of ending birthright citizenship. He and some of his supporters have complained about abuses of that system, so-called birth tourism, national security concerns. So in his second term, one of the first things he did when he came into office is that he signed this executive order ending birthright citizenship. But at the time, even people inside the administration told me they weren't sure if he was going to be able to do it that way, right? This is something that would likely have to go through Congress. We saw in the oral argument that justices across the political spectrum were skeptical about this. So it is not a surprise, Pamela, that he has lost this case. We just got the physical copy of it, so we'll look at who said what, but we know this was authored by the Chief Justice, John Roberts. This is the last opinion of the term, arguably one of the most significant, but I really just want to emphasize that it's notable that they have rejected President Trump on this, because really most presidents, most of what they've been able to do or have attempted to do has been through executive order, because Congress is not really able to do anything on immigration. But this is a check on his executive power.
Well, Diane, the fact that there is a dissent speaks to exactly what Devin was just referring to, that this is remarkable in the sense that it is surprising at all, which is to say that a rule that has been the rule since 1868, a Supreme Court precedent that has been on the books since 1898, was a question at all, says a lot about the degree to which, often the formalists use the phrase the Overton window. You can just say the level of expectation in America has shifted significantly when a question that is that settled, that had been the status quo for 127 years, was not nonetheless an open question. And the idea that there's a dissent when we're talking about an amendment, in essence, to the 14th Amendment, there's a process to amend the Constitution, and that process is not via an executive order.
Okay, so the liberal media, they're going to do what the liberal media does. The liberal media is going to keep trying to make you think that the conditions in the United States that existed in 1776 or in I don't even remember when this was amended, 18 something, right? But back in the day are the same conditions that exist in the United States now. Listen to me, understand. Things now are not the way they once were. So while the liberal media tries to trick you, while activists celebrate this ruling, you need to know the history of this situation so that you can understand why what the Supreme Court did yesterday was highly treasonous, on June 30th, was highly treasonous and highly anti-American, right? Oh, this has been on the books. This is the status quo for 100 years. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. Because when the amendment was made, you didn't have an influx of illegal immigrants coming into the United States of America. You did not have drug cartels, rapists, sex traffickers, people being trafficked entering into the United States of America when the Congress was amending the Constitution. The 14th Amendment was specifically made to protect the children of freed slaves. They wasn't thinking about a Mexican. They wasn't thinking about a Haitian. They wasn't thinking about an Asian. They wasn't thinking about nobody but one group. Freed slaves and their children. While the liberals are celebrating, we need to do something. We need to do the housekeeping. We need to pull back the curtain on what's really going on in this situation. Now, my conservative people who are here, I know you guys do your research. I know you know the facts. That's why I'm a conservative, because conservatives are informed and educated people. The liberals, they don't care about the facts. They only care about how they feel. And it's usually rooted in pure hypocrisy. But understand this. The 14th Amendment was explicitly designed and ratified during Reconstruction to secure freed black slaves and their descendants. Now, our very same historical amendment has been completely hijacked and weaponized against us to create a permanent loophole for illegal criminal alien migrants and their descendants. Congress did something for you, for us, for black folks. And now that has been weaponized against black folks to make a soft landing place for really a bunch of criminals. There is no black person in their right mind who should be defending this decision. And the fact that there are should trouble you incredibly, greatly, because it shows you that they really don't either understand the ramifications of this decision, or they are just so loyal to being a Democrat or a liberal that they have a self-destructive, suicidal loyalty to the Democrat Party and the liberal wing of our political apparatus. I understand why, a white man would want the illegals to come. I understand why the corporations want the illegals to come. They can hire them and pay them almost nothing. I understand that. But I don't understand why any group of people who consistently complains about not having enough would support rulings and or legislation that forces them to continuously share the finite resources that they claim they don't have enough of. It makes no sense. I want you to understand that these people are not arguing from a place of logic or rational thinking. These people are arguing from a place of hatred and resentment for America. So anything that hurts America, they feel is a win for them. Though the same people are disproportionately dependent on the governmental system of America for their very survival. It's like somebody who is on food stamps burning down the county office. What? It's like somebody who's on food stamps and needs food stamps to survive, celebrating people looting buildings. And it might be good because for a little while you can go steal and have enough to eat. But as soon as the looting is over and the services that government was providing are not there anymore, you're the one who's going to starve. So people keep telling me, you're wrong, you're this, you're that. No, you don't know what you're talking about. You can say whatever you want. See, for me, the real tragedy here is not the fact that the institution failed us. It's the cultural delusion. We're literally witnessing Black Americans actively celebrate being conquered by illegal immigrants who are being empowered by the same Democrat Party that Black America is supporting. Who allowed 15 million illegal immigrants into the country? Democrats did that. The Joe Biden that Black people voted into the White House, I couldn't have done it without the Black vote. When this campaign was at its lowest ebb, the Black community stood beside me. And how did you thank him, Joe? He thanked you by saying, you know what we're going to do for you? We're going to replace you. We're going to do something that has never been done in the history of this country. We're going to allow 15 million unvetted, unverified, undocumented illegal immigrants to flood into the country. We're going to place them directly in your neighborhoods. We're going to offer them things that we always tell you were impossible for us to give. We're going to give them free housing for a year and a half. We're going to give them $12,000 worth of food stamps. We're going to give them housing assistance. We're going to create a database only for illegal immigrants to help them get government jobs. We're going to create a database to help illegal immigrants get government jobs that you can't even get. If an illegal immigrant comes into this country right now, they can become a police officer in one of these liberal cities. This is a fact. We don't know him. We don't know what he's done in the past. He could be a mass murderer who never got caught in his country. And even if he did get caught, they would have no records that they could. They refuse. Actually, the countries refuse to share the records with us. They'll hire him. Come on, amigo, you're hired. You can be a police officer. Here's a gun and here's a badge. Go out and execute justice. But let your Black ass go try to become a cop. They'll take the misdemeanor you got when you were 18 for a little tiny pinch of weed and be like, yeah, you disqualified. You can't work this job. No one can deny it. That's why the ones in the comments who want to go against me, all they can do is throw insults because they cannot argue with the fact. I am in the Black community. I am in the spaces where Black people complain about racist treatment that they suffer at the hands of illegal immigrants and the legal Hispanic immigrants who fight for them to be allowed to come in the country and be placed on top of you. I'm in those spaces. So when I hear the complaints in those spaces, and then I look at the political behavior, I'm just like, so you're saying they're racist towards you? Hispanic citizens who are sympathetic towards illegals work hard to place them. They hire them before Black Americans. They promote them before Black Americans. This is all true. And people say this ain't about race. It is about race, right? I don't gotta hate a certain group of people to tell the truth. I live in California. Anybody who is here, even Hispanics who are honest, will tell you Hispanics click up at the job, and the minute they take over, the black Americans are gone. And then going down the line, the whites is going to, and that's it, right? It's not a coincidence. All the housekeepers in LA Mexican. There are plenty of black people who do housekeeping. Haitians, Jamaicans, and everybody. All I'm saying is this. Black people complain about the results, right, of the influx of Hispanic and Hispanic illegal immigrants, but then celebrate these people being empowered by our government. They don't assimilate to America. They don't adopt a no color lines or colorblind perspective. Why don't they adopt it? Because they didn't have to really work to get here. People who assimilate are people who worked hard to get here and came in here the right way. Those are the people who assimilate. People who are allowed to just waltz in and given, a payday, they don't see a need to assimilate into America. They look at America like, these people are dumb. They're just giving us freebies. We're coming to exploit. And everyone knows this. So when you see the Supreme Court make a decision like this, and then you see groups like Black America go out and celebrate it, right? You see that when it comes to identity politics, the Jedi mind tricks are in full force. Black America is a community that has been brainwashed against its own best interest. I will say that again. Black America is a community that has collectively been brainwashed against its own best interest, and that makes us dangerous. See, a lot of people might think, even if you're Hispanic, oh, this is a win. Even if you're a white liberal who just loves illegals, this is a win. This is a win. But see, this is the problem with someone who's brainwashed. You ever saw The Winter Soldier? Or any of those movies where someone is brainwashed, The Thunderbolts or something like any movie where someone is brainwashed into doing anything, into hurting people or going against their best interest. What happens when the person who has been brainwashed becomes self-aware and realizes that they've been used in a way that is totally destructive towards them? And what do they do when they identify the person who was behind the brainwashing? Eventually, Black America will wake up. Pain has a way of snapping you back into reality. And unfortunately, in this country, we've created an environment that makes Black Americans feel like they can do violence to people who they feel have wronged them or threatened them. So good luck with the riots. Good luck with the marauding and the death and the vandalism when Black America wakes up and realizes that they have been used, they have been made party to their own destruction. They have been used as an instrument to facilitate their own destruction. They're going to act up because that's all they've ever been taught to do. They're going to act up because that's all they've ever done. When they realize that they've been duped politically. This is erroneous. This is disgusting. Let me get my boy Alan B real quick, and then we're going to go into the dissent. Clarence Thomas, when he leaves the Supreme Court, it's going to be a dark day in America. I promise you that. Go ahead,
Yeah.
Alan.
Hey, how you doing, Brandon? I really wanted to get at you yesterday.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I really wanted to get to you yesterday about yesterday's topic, but yeah, I'll get in on this one. I can see this thing both ways, and here's why. What happened was when this was allowed to happen, in terms of the 14th Amendment, it was allowed to become precedent that people who were born here just automatically got birthright citizenship, and they practiced this for a while, for over 100 years. And so it became embedded into people's mind that everybody born here is a citizen. It does not work that way in most places around the world. There are other conditions that you have to meet in order to be granted citizenship. Basically, almost like blood based. But they made a decision a long time ago to do that, and it became embedded into the American psyche. It's not Black America who's going ahead and made this decision. It is these people who were handpicked by Donald Trump who decided to go ahead and do this. And so this is where we are. I can kind of, like I said, I can see it from both perspectives. I just think that a decision was made by the Supreme Court that kind of, cemented birthright citizenship as a thing.
But here's the thing: it doesn't matter who picked these people. You did something that directly hurts Americans. The Supreme Court knows what the hell they're doing. They know the history and they know the context. Everyone knows that this was meant to address freed slaves. Everyone knows that this has been manipulated and hijacked to apply to Hispanic illegal immigrants and other illegal immigrants. Why would you take? That's like me saying this. I'm going to leave. It's like your mom leave the house, right? Mm-hmm. And she like, I'm going to be gone all night because I'm going to be out busting it open. So I'm going to leave $50 for pizza, right?
Right.
And then your big brother come in, take the $50 and say, man, I'm about to go out and party with my friends. Okay. And then the rest of the siblings, they arguing like, hey, wait. That money is for food.
But those people argue.
Wait. No, listen. Mm-hmm. Say he got 9 siblings. And 3 of the siblings are like, hey, that's our money for food. So if we let him take that money, we're going to starve tonight. And you got 6 of them saying, well, mom did leave the money for pizza, and he said he's going to go get pizza with his friends. That's fine. But the pizza, what mom left, what did mom leave the pizza for? Who did mom leave the pizza for? Mom left the pizza for her kids. Big brother overruled mom. He still went to get pizza, but not for the kids, for him and his friends. That's what they're doing. And that's where the Supreme Court needs to act like they have sense and acknowledge what's going on, because they totally disregarded the context. And Alan, even you can't ignore that they totally disregarded the context.
They absolutely ignored the context. I'm not even arguing that they didn't ignore the context.
Right.
The only point I'm trying to make.
So is it wrong if you ignore context and do something to just say, well, it's like someone argues with you, and they totally ignore the nuance, and they keep saying, well, technically, it's like, bro, the technicality is not. It's hurting every single American, even Americans who happen to be of the same ethnicity as the ones being allowed in.
Yes, I listen. I agree with that. I'm a citizen of 2 countries. The other country I'm a citizen of wouldn't allow this.
And this is why Tariq is calling y'all tethers.
We're not tethers, but for
I don't think you guys are tethers. I just think you guys operate as far as you're like in America, you guys, I would say you love America, but you also have this like kind of like, yeah, but if this benefits my people over there who could come in here, you're not mad at that.
Well, no, it's not that I'm not mad at it. Is I accept the fact I'm shocked. Okay. The truth is that I'm shocked. I was arguing online with a lot of people the whole time that, this is a Trump reported court. And there's no doubt that this is going to be, birthright citizenship is gone. And these people upheld it. And not just upheld it, but they upheld it in a way where people who want to have anchor babies can continue to do so. And I find that shocking, because the point I was trying to make is that the other country that my family's from is not, they wouldn't do this. They wouldn't allow this sort of thing to happen. Most countries don't allow that to happen. But a lot of this is because of the mythology that we've built in this country in America, where we tell people that, everybody born here is an American and stuff like that. And that's become such an indoctrinated part of the American psyche that people tend to accept that, completely ignoring the fourth section of the 14th Amendment, which clearly states that this was something that was designed for slaves. And
but also, when you got the group of people who it was designed for, and they're not getting pissed off about you hijacking something that was designed for them, that gives you the leeway you need to feel like, okay, I could just do this. Black America will act up on the Supreme Court for everything else, but you won't act up on the Supreme Court from taking away what essentially is your birthright.
But the irony is that the only person who spoke up about it was the black member, the FBA member of the Supreme Court.
Well, the black woman on the Supreme Court is a total traitor already, so you can't expect her to.
Well, she doesn't think. She's
an activist. She's an activist. She's
right.
an ideologue.
Right. She's not really considering any stuff like that. You knew that from day one when she couldn't tell you what a woman was because it would go against the political philosophy of her party. So you already knew who you were getting from the beginning, right?
And it's funny, black people celebrated her. Oh, Ketanji Brown Jackson. And it's like, look at how she's screwing you over.
Yeah, right.
Look at what she's doing to you.
Right. So it's just interesting to me that the only person one of the few people, I shouldn't say the only person, because it was 6'3".
Yeah.
One of the few people who actually stood up for it was and had the longest rebuttal was Clarence Thomas.
90-page dissent is crazy.
It's insane. And citing Latin stuff and all kinds of stuff.
Bro was going wild on it.
He went in on it.
But what he said was just all facts, though. That's the part that killed me. It was all facts. Like, there is nobody. Like, if he was the lawyer arguing for this, I don't even see how they could have ruled against him.
I agree, but I mean, at the end of the day, when the majority of the court was appointed by Trump, and again, what's shocking to me is that so many of them. I don't know the breakdown of who voted what, but it had to be just numerically the Trump people the people who were appointed by Trump had to be turned against Trump in order for this to happen.
Yeah, so something's fishy. I feel like there's something fishy about this ruling too.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense, but even on political lines. But at the end of the day, a decision was made. This is who America is. This cements that birthright citizenship will continue. This cements that people will continue to schedule trips to the United States, have babies, and go from there. It was interesting, even with this World Cup. I forget the Nigerian kid who's a very good player for the United States team. He's an anchor baby. His mother, they claim, happened to come to the United States on vacation and while 9 months pregnant and had him, and then brought him back. Then he came back as an adult to the United States. We benefit from that. He's a hell of a player.
but he's. I know Nigerians who have a whole industry doing this.
Right.
They have a whole industry doing birthright citizenship. Tourism. But I'm not going to pretend like 3 million Africans in America is like, oh my God. But 15 million Hispanics, that's a problem. Along with the other millions upon millions of Hispanic immigrants. Like, I don't feel like the threat is coming from Africa. We already have a lot of things that stand in the way from in the way of an African coming into the United States, right? But the influx of people from South America and Central America, it cannot be overstated. Like, and I have no animosity towards a Hispanic person, but the people that are coming over are not being vetted. I have good friends. My best friend in high school was Hispanic, but he is not the type of person that those people coming from South America are, coming out of prisons and everything else like that. Now, the kids are innocent. The kids are not guilty of anything. They're just kids. They have no say in where they're born. But this idea that you can walk into America, push out a baby, and all of a sudden this baby gets to have a slice of the American pie, it has to be changed. It has to stop. I think that what I think President Trump should do is make a ruling that no woman who's past like 6 months or 5 months can travel into America from another country if she's not a citizen. Something, I don't know if they can do that, but that's the way I would deal with it. We know you're coming here. Or something that states, hey, someone, well, see, this is what I'm saying. The law in itself doesn't seem like it will be bad. It seemed like it would be, okay, you guys are abusing the system. We're addressing that. So I want to get into this Clarence Thomas dissent here. And all the black people in the comments, I see you guys. You're wrong. You're this, you're that. Take a step back from ignorance, okay? And understand that cheering for yourself to be conquered by illegal immigrants doesn't help you or help your children. Do you understand? My cousin just walked in the door. How old are you, 19? He's 19. He's looking for a job. He's hunting around looking for a job. He'll find one. But when I see him looking for a job and my nephew looking for a job, I say, there are illegal immigrants here with jobs. And bro has to hunt and search and break his neck to find a job at 19 years old. There's a lot of illegals here. We get that. It ain't much you can do about that. But to continue to empower these people to come in and take things that are meant for Americans, it's not okay. It's never going to be okay with me. You have to make sure your people are good before you start handing out charity. There can't be Americans struggling, don't know what they're going to eat tomorrow, can't afford rent. And you're like, you know what we're going to do? We're going to pile some more people in here. And we know why it's being done. We know why it's being done. Okay, so I want to highlight some quotes from the Clarence Thomas dissent because people are talking, but I think a lot of people don't understand that everything bro was saying was just rooted in facts. Here we go. So on the impact of the ruling, Clarence Thomas said, I'm not sure that today's opinion will stand the test of time. The citizenship clause added greatly to the dignity and glory of American citizenship. Today's opinion devalues that citizenship. I respectfully dissent. So Clarence Thomas is arguing that like American citizenship means something. Being an American means something. It's not just something that anybody who puts their toe across the border and pushes out a baby should have access to. In 2003, you had over 265,000 people come into the country, citizens from other countries, come into the country, push out a baby in America just so their baby could be a citizen, and then went back to their country. But here's my thing. If we could do that in other countries, I wouldn't really be tripping so hard. But it's like I can come to your country, push out a baby, they're a citizen. But if you come to my country and push out a baby, that baby's not a citizen. Your kid have no rights. It needs to be dialed back. It needs to remain at, look, if one of your parents is a citizen, you're a citizen. That's the nice little safe spot right there. If one of your parents is a citizen, you're a citizen. But this idea that two people who are illegal immigrants into the country could push out a baby, now the baby's an American citizen and they're not, that's crazy. Here was his next quote. Clarence Thomas argued that the court has twisted the original intent of the Reconstruction era, which they have. They've totally taken a law that was meant to protect the children of freed slaves, and they've applied it to people who are just, in my opinion, passing through. You use something that was meant, you've repurposed something to do a job that it wasn't meant for. He said, in doing so, the court adds to the sad history of the 14th Amendment, which was designed and understood to secure equal rights for the freed blacks, but has instead been repurposed for political projects that the Reconstruction Congress did not support. So now in this day and age, you are using something that a past Congress passed into law to support things that if those people were alive now, they would have vehemently opposed. It's diabolical. Clarence Thomas said the court has repurposed the 14th Amendment to protect its own set of preferred rights that the Reconstruction Congress never contemplated and that cannot find support in its text. Basically, they allowed their own opinion to overrule the law of the land. And that's when you get into dangerous territory. And black folks, you know, we've been programmed to just hate Trump. We've been programmed with a suicidal hatred of Trump. You remember the kamikaze pilots of World War II? They were programmed to have a suicidal hatred of America. But here's the problem. In order for them to hurt America, they were willing to die to hurt America. So they would crash their planes into American ships. Black people have been programmed the same exact way to hate Donald Trump. By the time Trump is out of office, black people will have totally destroyed not only their community, but they will have totally destroyed their prospects for prosperity, their ability to realize prosperity in America. You're going to destroy yourself trying to destroy Trump. Trump is an 80-year-old man. He'll be dead soon. But everything you're doing in your war against Trump, which it ain't even a war, you ain't winning. It's going to have long-term repercussions. So you could talk shit to me all you want to. I'm not the one cheering and celebrating and voting for people from another country to be able to come over here and take our resources. Black America hollering, reparations. We need reparations. Cut the check. Well, do you realize that the more people you let come in here, the further away from reparations you get? Because they'll say, oh, yeah, cow play. Look, this is why I can't deal with liberals. How many times have I told y'all the link is in the comments? Can we debate? These liberals, they're not even paying attention. The lights are on, but nobody. Clearly pinned to the top of the chat, it says, link. You can come up, call in link. Can we debate? Come on, bro. Are you even paying attention to what's going on? And we know the answer is no. You can't pay these people to pay attention. Because everything with being a liberal is an emotional reaction. And a million things, make you emotional every day. Let me get this other one. Here it goes. So he gets into why blacks were granted citizenship, or why we were entitled to citizenship following slavery. Blacks were entitled to citizenship because they were Americans. They had no other homeland, owed no allegiance to any foreign power, and were subject to no other authority. The same could not be said for the children of foreign temporary visitors. Foreign temporary visitors were attached to their home country, lacked similar bonds to this country, and would not be called upon in time of war. It's like letting somebody come in your damn house to use the stove and use the bathroom and eat up your food, but they have no obligation to chip in for anything. That's called being exploited. People will pay millions of dollars for American citizenship. Millions. Look at Nicki Minaj and them. You're just going to give that away for free while crying about not having enough? While crying about not being able to afford your rent? While crying about not being able to find a job that pays you a livable wage? Make it make sense. You say you don't got enough. You say you don't got enough. But yet and still you're trying to share what you don't got enough of. I knew that dude wasn't trying to come up here to debate. Liberals just say stuff. They say, oh, this, that, and the third. And then when you say, okay, can you prove it? I don't want to have this conversation anymore. You guys see it all over social media. You guys see it all over social media. They put the microphone in the liberal's face. The person talking big shit. Soon as the microphone in their face, explain. I don't want to have this conversation anymore. Of course you don't. Because everything you're saying is not a conclusion that you've arrived at on your own. These are talking points that they told you to say. And once you run out of ammo, once you run out of talking points, guess what? You got to retreat. These people are hyped up about destroying their own country for a bunch of people who don't give two shits about them. They're not going to do anything to help you if America collapses. They're going to laugh at you. Y'all had everything and y'all blew it. And what you going to say? Humanity, socialism, the buzzwords. Let's get it back into this.
So the fact that there is a dissent is, I think, telling.
Where's that guy who said he was trying to debate?
He's gone now. The country has moved.
You have to accept it's the Supreme Court, so I'll accept. I think it's very bad for our nation. We're the only nation that does it. No other nation does that birthright citizenship. No, not even close. Some did it, they ended it. It's tremendously destructive. It's extremely costly. I don't know, it's up to them. But in terms of for the good of the country, it'd be great if they didn't allow it. It would be great. But I can't tell you, the Slaughter case was the big case today. That was really a big.
So you hate Trump. So when he talks, you don't listen, but you can't argue or disagree with nothing Trump is saying. He said it's incredibly destructive and it's extremely costly. I always say this. There is not one issue in America, except maybe black on black violence, that would not be solved with mass deportation. There is not a single issue in America that could not be solved with mass deportation. You can't find a job? Mass deportation. 1 million jobs will open up overnight. You can't find nowhere to live? Mass deportation. 1 million homes would open up overnight at the lowest cost you've ever seen. If we did mass deportation today, your rent would go down $500 or more, maybe $1,000. Every problem in America, the majority, are perpetuated by mass immigration, illegal immigration. The people who will come in and just work while being totally ignorant of the conditions of the country that they're working in. Oh man, there was a mass shooting. We don't care. We got to go to work. Oh man, they trafficking children. We don't care. We got to go to work. Name a problem and tell me how mass deportation would solve it. I'm telling you. Go to the cities where there are not huge amounts of illegals and go look up the rent prices. Go look up the rent prices. Go to a state where there's under 1 million illegal immigrants. Look at the cost of living. Roger Wood is speaking facts. Housing, energy, healthcare, education, etc. all become significantly cheaper with mass deportation. You know why your health premiums are going up? Because the government is hitting the healthcare companies. Governments like California are taxing healthcare companies so that they can give free healthcare to illegal immigrants. That's why. If you really want to know, if you want to know why everything is going up, illegal immigration. People on the system who are unaccounted for, who exploit it. You have to pay for the illegal immigrant to go to the emergency room when they got the flu. You have to pay for the illegal immigrant to go to the emergency room when they got a headache. And you pay quadruple and triple. Look at this, look at this, look at this. Fun fact, and this ain't even a fact. This is a liberal lie. Fun fact, over 70% of undocumented immigrants have no criminal record. They have no criminal record here. Let me go to Honduras. I would have no criminal record there. They pay taxes and reap none of the benefits. How do they pay taxes when they have no Social Security card? I'll wait. How do you pay taxes when you have no Social Security card or number? And if you have a Social Security number or a EIN or a tax ID, you do reap the benefits because you get a tax return. I know Hispanics, illegals, who are getting $20,000, $30,000 tax returns by claiming children as their dependents who live in Mexico. You don't know what you're talking about. You think you smart, but it just proves that you're totally unaware of the situation that you're in. There are illegal immigrants in America getting tax return checks, claiming dependents that live in America, that live in Mexico. $20,000, $30,000 tax returns. And look at bro simping for pedos. What the hell does this have to do with pedophilia? That's what they do. It's all deflection. I'm simping for pedos, but this guy trying to bring illegal immigrants in here who you don't know what they've been doing. Traffickers up in here. That's not simping for pedos. Alan, come back up. I don't. Ryan got it. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. 3-Man Podcast.
Hey, what's up, brother? How you doing?
What's up? How you doing?
Well, I like to disagree with one thing that was just said. Saying that 70% of illegal immigrants don't have a criminal don't have a criminal background?
Yeah, criminal record, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So if the first action
I
you
didn't
did
say that
was,
though. I didn't say that.
oh, I know. But to the smart person who put that down in the comments, if the first thing you do coming into the country is breaking the law by illegally coming into the country, you're a criminal. So that's like me. That's like me coming over to your house for the first time and I got muddy shoes and I don't take my shoes off at the door and I'm on your couch saying F your couch. That doesn't mean I respect your household. Now, I don't know if you wanted people to come up here to disagree with you or agree with you.
You could disagree with me either way.
No, I agree. I actually agree. I agree with a lot of things that you said. Like you've been speaking scripture up here, brother. So you've been preaching. I cannot disagree with anything that you said. My one thing is that to all you pro-blacks, which pro-black means being pro-Democrat, but to all the pro-blacks up who were complaining about, oh, they're trying to end birthright citizenship, and who are celebrating that the Supreme Court well, upheld for what it is now, what it has, it continues have been, to you fake pro-blacks. Here's something that you don't realize. If it would have went in the favor of Donald Trump on top of Clarence Thomas' dissent, you could have used that as an argument to get reparations. You could have sued the federal government now. But because...
No, you 100% right. They don't realize they shoot their own self in the foot being dumb.
So I put it in AI. I asked AI, I was like, what's the percentage of black folks getting reparation using this court case if it would have gone in the favor of Donald Trump and on top of Clarence Thomas' dissent? It said 95% chance of black Americans would have received reparations. And it gave me go ahead,
listen,
brother.
If black people support mass deportation, that frees up billions and billions of dollars that could be reallocated towards reparations. But like I said, we've been brainwashed into working against our own best interest. That is when you know you're brainwashed. When what you're doing doesn't facilitate, or it doesn't perpetuate the circumstances that you're trying to create, that you claim that you're trying to create. And then with the other person, who was the same person who you were responding to, oh, they don't commit any other crime. Yeah, that's because when they get arrested in sanctuary cities, they don't report their immigration status. So you would never know if the person who did the crime was legal or illegal. So you guys are quick to throw these numbers out here, 70% this and that. Well, if it's against the law for the police to ask you what your immigration status is or even write it down, how would anyone know whether illegals are committing crimes or not? Of course the number would be damn near zero, because that's not being recorded. And where I live in California, it is called the Values Act. They prohibit local law enforcement from asking about or recording, and so you guys will know that this is not fake. Right here. They prohibit local law enforcement from asking about or recording an individual's immigration status during arrest. All the numbers are fake. All the numbers are fudged. They fudged the numbers so they could throw talking points out. So you'll say, well, they are destroying my state, but crime is down by 20%. They are destroying the damn country, but this or that is down by 30%. And guess what? None of what they say they're fighting against actually goes down. Gavin Newsom, my governor, he literally posted something today that said, crime is down by 20%. Something else is down by 30%. I commented on the post and I said, but y'all supposed to be bringing homelessness down, and y'all supposed to be bringing the cost of living, affordability down, right? Why is it that they never post stats about the things that they campaign on? Because rent is up. Because homelessness is up. That's what you told us to elect you to fix. But I'm going to tell you to elect me to fix this thing, but then when I can't fix it because I'm corrupt, I'm going to point at something else being down. Go ahead.
Well, as a person who's formerly homeless people around the country make their way to California. Because if I remember correctly, don't y'all pay our homeless people?
Shit, California pay everybody.
Yeah, y'all pay your homeless people.
The only people we don't pay is the hardworking middle-class American.
Yeah. They do pay you. They pay you by taxing the hell out of you.
Right. They reward you. That's the reward you get.
That's the reward. Hey, you know what? Hey, for all your hard work, for working 75 hours this week, you know what we're going to do? We're going to take half of your money. That's what we're going to do, player. Yeah, that sounds good to you, huh?
And let me tell you the coldest part. California is a perfect example of how these policies are done. You have black people in California. People don't know this, but there are more black people in California than Mississippi. Most people don't know that. there's like 2.3 million. Listen, black people will vote Democrat no matter what in California. If you don't vote Democrat, they will try to fight you, right? The same black people running away from California because they can no longer afford to live here, going dead into red states, Texas, Nevada, Arizona, Idaho. They literally create an environment that is unsustainable for themselves and then run away to a red state to live up under the environment that was created by people that they politically oppose. Then they vote to try to change that state and make it more like the state that they just left. Being a liberal is a cancer. Go ahead.
I have a homeboy who literally just relocated from New York, moved all the way down to Florida, Jacksonville area where my peoples is at, right? So this upcoming election, I asked him, well, who you think about voting for the governor, in Florida? He was like, oh, I'm voting for the Democrat. And I was just like, wait, what?
Zero policies discussed.
I was like, bruh, one quick question. Why did you leave New York? Well, it was too expensive. The crime was high, and so on, so on, so on. So I'm like, wait 1 second. You're telling me you left a blue area to come to a red state to vote blue again? That I'm like, bro, you're pimping backwards, player.
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense. And there's a hat. Hey, there's a shirt and a hat I have that says, "Don't New York my Florida." It's basically don't bring your democratic policies and thought process to a red state to where the reason why you moved here is because it's the opposite of where you came from.
Yeah, 100%. That's all these people do. They're just like, hey, I'm going to, and it's all, and when you ask them, like I was arguing with my uncle on Thanksgiving, dude just sounding dumb, like, bro, you're this overly sympathetic person about Gaza and all this stuff. And I'm like, do you have any of that sympathy for your fellow family members who can't afford to live here anymore because of policies that you're supporting? They always have sympathy for someone who live 30,000 miles away, but have no sympathy by the people for the people who are negatively impacted by the decisions they make who live right next door to them. It's the most blatant hypocrisy I've ever seen in my life.
I would have hit your uncle with, since you're supporting the people in Gaza. I didn't know that you like supporting racists, because in Gaza they literally do have a segregated part. The Palestinians do have a segregated part of where the black people are supposed to stay at. So
what I hit him with was this. He was like, I just want the bombing to stop. This fool up in there looking all soft and shit. I just want the bombing to stop. I said, well, you should be celebrating Trump because he's the one who stopped the bombing in Gaza. Biden was just letting it happen in the last year of his presidency. It didn't stop until Trump got in. Oh, but it's too little too late. Yes, because the Democrat who you voted for didn't make a move to stop it. The Republican who you hate got in, and in the first couple weeks, he got that situation handled. So these people, like I said before, they are not operating based on logic, rational thinking, or honesty. They're just emotional liars. That's all they're hyper emotional liars. This guy right here, Black Loki, what's up? What up, G? How you doing? He said, Brandon, if you don't have sympathy for blacks, why should they? Listen, I don't have sympathy for nobody who votes against their own interest. I don't have sympathy for nobody who shoot themselves in the foot and then try to celebrate it. Then when they get the results, they try to blame it on somebody else. I don't have sympathy for that.
Well, my thing is, black people don't even have sympathy for other black people. Like, look at this whole Carmelo case that we just had to endure. Literally, during the same time that whole entire case was going on, there was a mass shooting in the mall. None but black folks. Mm-hmm. There was on Juneteenth. there was they found over 100 cases, 100 rounds of ammunition. 58 people was shot. 9 people died. Didn't hear a word from none of the pro-blacks. Didn't hear nothing at all.
Too busy defending a killer. Black.
Yep.
Look at, man, these people. Look at, man. And that's why I try to get black people to understand. The jig is up. People see you for who you really are. So either you change or you just accept. No one's giving. Why would I give a bunch of people who defend a murderous high schooler reparations? Black folks have gotten to the point where other groups will be afraid if black people ever got money collectively. Because ain't no telling what black folks might do with it. We might build a damn army and just go to war with America. Like, because that's how easily manipulated we are when it comes to liberals or anyone who we feel is going against the person that we are going against collectively. It's just
I wouldn't be afraid. If I was a white man, I wouldn't be afraid. I'm like, hell, you can't even organize amongst yourselves.
Oh,
why would any? It's like I remember growing up hearing racist white folks used to say that black people are violent. There is just something wrong with black people. They're just violent. It's their nature to be violent. Then listening to all these pro-blacks, aka pro-democrats, talking about, well, you should be scared for touching a black person. Yeah, if you touch a black person, you gonna wound up losing your life. And I'm like, damn, that racist son of a gun was correct.
Hey, and don't realize that the number one people who lost their life for minor infractions against black people are other black people. You step on my shoe, fool. You touch my jacket. Just dumb stuff. But real quick, we're gonna get Skywalker in. I got you, Skywalker, right now. I want to say this real quick, guys. We are having a $5 challenge for our contributions. It is posted at the top of the chat. We are trying to get 10 donations of $5 or more before the end of the show. Support the content, especially if you agree with it. If you don't agree with it, still support it. But you need more voices of common sense in this country on social media. And the only way you do that is by supporting those voices. And the donations are better than the ad revenue because the ad revenue is dictated by censorship. You have to say what they want you to say. You can't say certain things. You can't say things a certain way. I don't like to play those games. I like to get the support. I would rather you guys pay me than YouTube pay me. Because at least when you guys pay me, I know it's up and we do it how we want to do it. So if you believe in that, support the stream, support the content, like, share, hit the like button already, share it with your friend, let your liberal friend know we over here cooking. And with that being said, Skywalker, go ahead.
Yeah, Brandon, man, I just called to support your platform, but I also want to say that the birthright citizenship is one of the most horrible. The birthright citizenship opinion is one of the decision is one of the most horrible decisions by the Supreme Court ever. It's probably, well, no, other than Dred Scott. So this decision, because Dred Scott historically has been the worst decision of the Supreme Court, but Dred Scott is also important for another reason because it's the reason for the Civil War, right? And if you read Justice Thomas's dissent, in the first sentence, the case that he mentions is Dred Scott. Why? Because the 14th Amendment was created to overrule Dred Scott, because after the Civil War, Dred Scott was still good law. So in other words, after the Civil War, the 13th Amendment gave black people freedom, but it didn't give black people citizenship. And so therefore, Dred Scott was still good law because Dred Scott held that black people couldn't be citizens because black people had no rights that the white man was bound to respect. So the 14th Amendment was created to overturn Dred Scott, which is the worst decision by the Supreme Court and which literally started the Civil War, right? And this, as much of a fan of Donald Trump I am. I mean, I'm a supporter of Donald Trump. And if for anybody who claims that Donald Trump is a racist, literally, the same person on the side of Clarence Thomas, the person that was advocating for black people, Donald Trump. That means he's also advocating for black people's rights, and anybody advocating for Donald Trump is also advocating for black people's rights. And I find it extremely strange that the media made this whole citizenship thing about Mexicans and immigrants and stuff.
You're breaking up. Hold on. You're breaking up pretty bad. Hold on. You're breaking up pretty bad, and I want your message to be like heard. What you're saying. So if there's any if you're in a bad area reception wise, try to. Okay, see now if it's working better.
Yeah, the white man was holding back your signal, player. You had that part-time wireless for a second, player.
You probably driving a truck too. You breaking up bad. Yeah, Skywalker. You breaking
what it
up
is, and I'm going out. Okay, well,
I'll just come back to you. When you get in a better area, I'll come back to you.
You guys continue to talk. I'm gonna try to get to a safer place. Just hold on.
Appreciate
okay,
that.
I'm back.
But what he's saying is all facts. The 14th Amendment was literally passed to deal with the aftermath of Dred Scott. And let me tell you this: who was against the 14th Amendment? The Democrats. So it makes sense that, the Democrats wanted to keep you slaves, right? So now that you're no longer a slave, it makes sense that the Democrats are now supporting policy that introduces a new class of slaves into the country. The Democrats have always been about one thing: cheap and or free labor. And the Democrats right now will sell out every American in this country in the interest of getting free and or cheap labor. So what they're going to do to you, because you refuse to be their slave anymore, they're going to totally destroy or deconstruct your rights, all the things that you fought for decades and centuries to gain in this country. They're going to just take it and spread it out amongst illegal immigrants to the point where it has no value. Okay, you got the right to vote, but now we just made all these illegal immigrant citizens, so your vote don't even matter. Oh yeah, you're an American citizen, and that gives you certain rights and freedoms and entitlements. Now guess what? We are gonna let all these people come in, and we're gonna give them American citizenship just for pushing a baby out. No real investment in this country, and that's gonna devalue, because I'm a person who believes they should make any type of entitlement program, Section 8, food stamps, anything like that. That should, in my opinion, it should only be given to American citizens, and it should only be given to adults who are citizens, not children at all. The adult should get the money and stuff, and that adult then uses it to provide for the children. Do that. Watch how many of these illegal immigrants leave the country. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm at this point to where I'm like, we could switch it up and service equals citizenship. You remember Starship Trooper?
Yeah, movie.
Yeah, I'm at that point to where, you know what, like, if you want to be a citizen, you need to have some skin in the game. Because if we looking back in the day, like, the 1700s to the 1800s, not all men had the right to vote. You actually had to in order to have the right to vote, is because it proved that you have some form of skin in the game. You have some form of allegiance to the United States. And we're talking about to the fact that there's 1.3 million American citizens who live in China, and the only time they've been inside the only time they've been inside the United States of America is when they were born. If you want to get a
Yeah.
surrogate over here, what? You're an American citizen. Oh, you're going back to China. You don't speak no English. You speak nothing but Mandarin. And that citizen, who is, in my opinion, should be a foreign, a Chinese foreign nationalist, they actually have the ability and the right to become president, but they have no allegiance to the United States of America.
Right.
And
Right.
and since you was talking about deportations, I find it a treat to where the same folks, the Democrats and you libtards, you want the federal minimum wage to increase, right? But if you talk to most economists, and if they aren't a political hack economist, they will literally say, well, the number one reason why federal minimum wage is staying down is because of illegal immigration.
Of course. Man, and we all know this. And you got folks screaming, we need a livable wage and all that. Okay, get all the illegal, undocumented workers out the country.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Yes. Yes, brother.
It's just horrible. It's just horrible, man. But you want me to tell you something else? Dang, there was a point I was thinking about, but it just slipped my mind. But it was a really good point. Damn. God. Man, I forgot. But it was like
brain work. Use
Can I
your
finish up,
brain
Brand?
work brain.
Go ahead, Skyworker. Go ahead.
Skywalker.
Skywalker, you need to change.
All right, so like I was saying, Brandon pretty much actually summed up a lot of where I was going. You know, I'm still going in and out. Are you serious?
No, you good. We hear you.
No way. Can you hear me better?
You.
Am I still going in and out?
No, you sound good.
Hello?
Yes.
How you hear me? All right. So, okay. So, you know, yeah. So if you listen to the debates on the floor of Congress, when the first Civil Rights Act was being made, it is clear what the intentions of the 14th Amendment was for. As a matter of fact, the first Civil Rights Act said that anybody born within the in the jurisdiction of the United States and has allegiance thereof is, you know what I'm saying, is an American citizen. But then it was ratified and they changed it to subject to the jurisdiction thereof. But even then, when they ratified it, the congressmen made clear their intentions of that statute, of that law, and they also clarified that this was not for unborn and illegal immigrants or whatever, right? This was for people who owed allegiance to the country. And so the problem is that now, as much as I love Donald Trump, right, and much as a fan I am of Donald Trump, is that Donald Trump made a horrible mistake when he put that Barrett lady on the Supreme Court.
Yeah, Amy
I think she played my boy to the left. This lady was a liberal and had every intentions of ruling against him exactly. When she arrived on the Supreme Court. That was a mistake by Trump, in my opinion. I'm pretty sure he's starting to see that it was a mistake. But you know, the Democrats or the Republicans were afraid that the Democrats would try to swallow the 14th Amendment by allowing immigrants to come in to create a permanent underclass. Now, the Democrats succeeded in doing this. If you go back in history with the Ellis Island immigrants, and if you go back to look at newspapers written by black people, like go back and look at black newspapers back during their time, because it was segregated during their time. A lot of the black conservatives were against what was going on. They were complaining about all these European immigrants coming in and taking jobs from black people, right? So this is another example of, you know, the Democrats being successful in thwarting the economic and financial success of the black community by bringing in immigrants. So, matter of fact, President Coolidge complained about the immigrants coming in and what it was doing to the black community. Matter of fact, one of the most pro-black presidents, believe it or not, was actually President Calvin Coolidge. Even though he supported segregation, but if you ask me, segregation is an example of it's the only time when the United States was actually being fair to black people. Segregation, and a lot of people say, oh, our water fountain was rusty and theirs was brand new. Well, we were a developing nation within a nation. Eventually our water fountains were gonna look better, look like theirs or even better. But we were a developing nation. We were a nation that was still building itself within the stomach of another nation. So if we would have been a lot more patient, and if we would have debated these issues about whether or not we should integrate or segregate, we probably would have ended off a little better. We shouldn't just went with the NAACP, right? You know what I'm saying? But that's a whole nother story. But like I say, the Democrats have always, and like you said, you touched on this, the Democrats have always been interested in creating slaves. These are the people who fought a war to keep black people in slavery. And I was fishing the other day, and I was talking to a man who was fishing with me. And this dude just was lauding about how Donald Trump doing this, and he's trying to re-enslave black people, and we got to get the Republicans out of office and all this crap, right? And so I asked the man, he claimed to be a Christian and all of this, right? And so I asked the man, I said, let me ask you a question. Do you believe that a man should be able to compete in female sports? He said, hell no. I said, do you believe that a man can be turned into a woman, and he should be turned into a woman if he want to, and that our children should learn that that's a good thing? He said, no, right? I said, do you believe in the black family, and do you believe that, that the family structure is an important dynamic to financial success? He said, yes, right? I said, do you believe in God, and do you believe that prayer should be returned in the schools, and that one of the problems with our communities is that they took prayer out of the schools and they started but they still teaching our children about Greek gods, but they somehow took religion out of school. But that's a whole nother story as well. And he said, yeah, I do believe the religion should be returned in the school. I said, well, my brother, you are a Republican. How is it that you seem to be aligning with a group that seems to be at odds with all of your values? The only how that can happen is if you are being brainwashed and being subjected to what Amos Wilson calls rational persuasion. And so, and this is what's going on in our community, right? Any black person out here supporting black, that's on the side of this liberal, surprisingly liberal, actually, court, and saying that, oh, birthright citizenship is okay, you're literally arguing against your interests, right? But let me say, this is the last thing I'm gonna say, Brandon. Justice Kavanaugh said something that was real prominent. First of all, Justice Thomas is the greatest Supreme Court justice and the greatest jurist that this country has ever seen. But let me also say that Justice Kavanaugh said something that's extremely important in that opinion too. He said, and anybody who's a lawyer knows this as well, that Congress can pass legislation to create an exception to the birthright citizenship, and Congress has failed to do this, right? So Congress can do that. And also, Justice Roberts, if you read that opinion, this guy completely changed the issue. The issue of the court was did Trump have the power to pass an executive order, ending birthright citizenship? The question was not, right, whether or not birthright citizenship was constitutional, right? Those are two separate issues. You see what I'm saying? And so Congress needs to it is a national security issue. Congress needs to pass a statute.
He cut out. You have a delay, Skywalker, so you're going to hear this later. You have a delay, but go out and come back in, and I think that'll correct the delay. But the thing I want to say about this is, you like, why did, and this really directed at black folks, why do you keep voting for a party that constantly gives you its ass to kiss when you want something? But then everyone else who wants something, they can get the things they want. It's no problem. let me say this one thing. For black people, you get the abortion clinic. You get Planned Parenthood. When it comes to you having families and having kids, they tell you your best option is to exterminate your unborn fetus so you can survive in America. When you go to the Democrat and say, boss, it ain't enough for us to eat, they say, well, then, you know what? I guess you need to stop having kids, nigga. So then you say, you know what? Boss is right. I need to, we got to abort this baby because we can't afford it. But then, if an illegal immigrant, illegal criminal, alien, migrant rapists come into the country, they're encouraging them to push out children and say, guess what? We'll fit the bill. They were pushing black women into, wow, this is the craziest shit ever. I want y'all to just really lock in on this real quick. I'll make myself big. While Democrats were paying for illegal immigrants and their children to stay in 5-star hotels for free, giving them $12,000 on a food stamp card and $5,000 of cash. At the same exact time as this was happening, Democrats were pulling abortion buses up in front, mobile abortion clinics, up in front of the Democrat National Convention and encouraging black women to get abortions right there on the spot. While you're being told to abort your children, they are able to find the money to support children and parents who aren't even citizens of this country. There's something deeply disturbing about that, and something even more disturbing about the fact that black people continue to support this party. Go ahead, 3-man.
Oh, I could tell you why. Black folks have been voting Democrats so long that it's actually a tradition to vote Democrat. Mama voted Democrat, Daddy voted Democrat. So you know what? I'm not going to use no critical thinking. I'm going to vote Democrat because that's what we're supposed to do, But black folks been, hell, I'm 38 years old. I don't know how old you are. I'll be 38 later this year.
I'm 40. We right in the age.
You okay? We right in the same age. I got a cold 100 for anybody can tell me what year did the Democrats shut down the government? What year did the Democrats shut down the government? I'm gonna do my Umar Johnson, my brother. Now, what year did the Democrats shut down the government to make sure black folks get their reparations, like they shut down the government to make sure illegal aliens continuously getting their the social services
and
that is promised in healthcare that is promised to American citizens? On top of that, lying about that, illegal immigrants, they don't get no part of our social network.
Hey, Dan, and you cooking on that because it's like they would never shut down the government to make sure black folks got enough or for them to keep anything. But they was quick to shut down the government to make sure illegal aliens could still receive health care. And then they said, this isn't about illegal alien health care. It actually was. It actually was because Trump stopped funding to states that used government funding to give illegal immigrants health care. I live in one of them. It is California. So, and the Democrats shut down the government until until basically Congress agreed to renew that funding, to continue that funding, right? It had expired, actually. Trump didn't stop it. It expired. And those states said, if you will not allow us to give, those congressmen and women said, if you will not allow us to give our illegal immigrants free health care, we will shut down the government and thousands and thousands of government employees will not get paid. Who do you think the Democrat Party is working for at this point? I mean, they are working for these illegal immigrants, bruh. They are doing work for them.
So I remember during the election when all these radicals. Actually, you know what? It was after the election. All of these radical Democrats, the one who are actually taking over the Democratic Party now.
Mm-hmm.
So all of these radicals, they was just like to the Democrats who are elected. In order to stop Trump, you must be willing to get shot in order to stop Donald Trump.
Right.
And what you see, you see these, you have seen literally House of Representatives, your local city council at these ICE protests, literally getting arrested, getting harmed, getting pepper sprayed in order to make sure the actual will of the people is not the actual referendum on the will of the people. What the people elected Donald Trump to do was to do the mass deportations, the largest deportations in American history.
Oh, sorry.
No, I was going to say I'm ending it right now. It was just so. When they talking about when the Democrats talking about American citizens, they're not talking about the majority vote that voted for Donald Trump. They're talking about the butthurt Democrats.
Man, listen, black people are nothing but the fall guy for the Democrat Party. If you look at all the politicians that lose their job over these horrible policies, they're all black. Cori Bush, Nina Turner, Fonnie Willis, and the list goes on and on. Jasmine Crockett, Jamal Bowman. The list goes on and on. Black people are the fall guy for the Democrat Party. When
you say fall guy, I say cuck.
Yeah, cuck, baby. Right. It's like you can even see like with the Hispanic politicians, they can support horrible legislation that empowers illegal immigrants but disempowers American citizens. They still retain their position. They still keep their seat. We are the ones losing every day, and it's like we're celebrating it. TSM, go ahead. Unmute your microphone, TSM. TSM, unmute your mic. Guys, someone asked Mac007, my boy, the Cash App is in the comments. It's pinned to the top. Some people asked about the Cash App and the PayPal. It's pinned to the top of the chat, the link to Cash App and PayPal. Please help us reach our super chat goal, 10 super chats of $5 before the end of the show. We're going to be on probably like 30 more minutes, so hit the like button, subscribe, do all your housekeeping. Go ahead, Big Blackhead.
Hello, I just wanted to join the stream and basically say that the black people, the blacks, they need to do better in the country that they're born in.
I agree with that, 100%. And speaking, look, since you're clearly from somewhere else, look at the people who came for the World Cup. They love America. They think America's awesome.
I'm from America. I'm from America.
Why you got such a strong accent?
I'm an improv actor.
Oh my God, this is Tariq Nasheed's crew. They infiltrated my damn live stream.
No, this Black Loki, man.
Okay, so here's the whole thing. People from other countries come here. They're like, we love America. Black folks complain, America this, America that. It's like, dude.
They love America because they got spiders under their bed back home.
Right. But it's like we're steadily trying to tear it down and give it away while simultaneously begging America to give us reparations and everything else. It's like, how can you beg for anything from a country that you are actively destroying with your vote? I'm sorry, you can hate Trump as much as you want, but at least I feel like I feel Trump is doing things that facilitate the prosperity of America. He's trying to bring America back. It's like if America's going down and someone's trying to bring it back, I'm gonna support that person. I might not agree with them on everything, but on that fundamental level, I can agree with. I want America to do better. I want America to be prosperous, right? It's like you can't be an enemy of someone or something and then beg it for something like, oh, I want reparations, I want this or that. But it's like I've run out of ways to say the same damn thing over and over.
What do you think we should do with the black?
With who?
With the black?
What's the block?
Like the black people?
Oh, what should I do? Nothing. I mean, black people just got to get off their ass and work like everybody else.
And if they don't, what should we do with them?
They just gonna get left behind. Black people will be just erased. That's what will happen. Black people will be erased.
Do you think that would be better for the country?
I don't know, because it's like the culture won't be erased. I don't think the violence and all that. But the actual black people, because we'll just get mixed in. We'll get assimilated. Black dudes love sleeping with Mexican girls and vice versa at this point. So it's like we'll just get assimilated. So maybe that's what black people want. Maybe that's what's best.
Advocate for black erasure.
For what?
For black erasure.
I'm not gonna advocate for it, but it'll happen on its own. It doesn't need advocacy.
Hey, Larry, swag,
but if we keep voting the way we're voting, aborting our kids, cheering and celebrating the mass influx of illegal migrants, it'll happen. It'll happen sooner as opposed to later.
Who wants the legal migrants to come into the country?
Democrats.
And because blacks are Democrats, the blacks want them to come into the country?
Yes. I don't even think black people want illegal migrants to come in. I think black people think that it's hurting Donald Trump, so they think it's a win for them. They just don't like Donald Trump, so whatever he is for, they're against it. Whatever he's against, they're for it.
What makes you think they don't like Donald Trump?
Well, I know they don't, because the way they vote.
How do you know that?
Because they say it. Black people are the most vocal people on earth. They say everything black folks think. Listen, everything black people think, they say it. And they'll say it publicly and on camera.
That's not true.
That's facts. 100%.
That's everybody.
No, it's not. No, it's not. You never know what Asians think.
Yes, you do.
Not collectively, you don't.
They have a commercial online right now with a little baby.
A commercial.
Yeah, and so many people retweet it, and it's making money. This little
who
black.
Who did most Asians vote for president in 2024?
They voted for Kamala.
South Asians.
Are you talking about the Indian?
I mean, those are Asians too.
The Indian people don't vote.
They don't. Most of them don't vote.
They vote like black people.
But do you ever notice, for as much as Indian people don't vote, they're always on the presidential stage? Have you realized that for the past couple of elections? They have like no political representation, but they're always on the presidential stage.
It's because they have a culture of latching on to successful people and extracting resources from them.
That's the culture we need to develop.
So you think we should develop that culture, or should we just like advocate for erasure?
We should develop that culture. And I already said I don't think we should advocate for erasure.
So do you like seeing black people on your street, or do you want them to move?
I don't care if I see black people on my street. As long as I don't see no ghetto ass, crazy, violent black people, I'm good.
So what makes a person ghetto? Because sometimes people are told they're ghetto for their beliefs and not necessarily for the way they act.
You're ghetto because of your behavior.
Do you think I'm ghetto?
Yes.
I'm very ghetto.
We know, because you playing on my stream.
I know.
All right, let me get these super chats.
At least I got you to laugh though.
No,
you got to read my super chat. You didn't read it.
I have a good sense of humor. You already know that. You've been here. You've been listening for a while.
Yeah, I was here on your first stream ever.
Stand in character.
2000.
If you guys don't know Black Loki, he's a day one. He's been around forever. Roger Woods, thank you for the $5 super chat. Appreciate it. Showing support. Thank you. We need that. Laurice Wagner, government money, 100%. 100%. I saw that when you first put it. But man, listen. I feel like a broken record. But this stuff at this point should be common sense. It's so acute, even children can see it. It's like, why is it that black folks are collectively still just like cognitive dissonance? And that word has been said so much it almost loses meaning. That little term. But it's like, it's true. You're trying to maintain two different opinions that are totally opposed at once. Somehow you're going to get reparations while simultaneously fighting to share America's whole economy with other groups of people who are not even legal citizens. This is cognitive dissonance.
I think the cognitive dissonance comes from the fact that, I'm a Black American and I'm successful. I make money. I don't have to interact with people on a regular basis. Like, does that include me into your, like, this degenerate culture?
I would say no, because I believe even if you just watch me, if you've been watching me this long, you agree with a lot of what I'm saying.
I agree with what you say.
This channel is one of those where people who don't agree, they just leave. They don't like it.
The problem is you trigger me when you just try to make it seem like, oh, the Black people are barbaric and the Black people are this. And it's just like, there's so many other groups of people that come from shit, essentially, that you could say the same thing about.
That's the entertainment value for you.
People.
That's the entertainment value of it. Zarth, shout out to Zarth. Thank you, my brother. Another day one for the $5 holla. We're here at your comment, Loki. Brandon, why do you hate the Blacks and want to send us to Africa? I never did anything to you. Why do you hate me and the Blacks? Must you hate me so? Listen, I don't hate anybody. And you don't gotta go to Africa. You can go wherever you want. Just don't come over my house. Beyond that,
I have property in America.
I believe you. You're American.
I just feel like what you're gonna do is your rhetoric is gonna make the white supremacists, when they get in power, they're gonna want to send me to Africa. And I'm gonna die in Africa because I'm not protected. I don't have the vaccinations needed. I'm just not gonna make it.
I've been to Africa a million times. I've never got a vaccination. You'll be fine. You'll be 100% good. Loris Wagner with another $5 super chat. Laurice is doing some very heavy lifting today, and I appreciate the sister. Thank you so much for your contribution to this channel. I think that's it. I don't think we're gonna hit our goal unless somebody drops $25. But thank you guys. Delineate? What happened? Can we delineate?
Yes, like, the Blacks like me who aren't ghetto and have 1 billion children, and then from the Blacks that are.
What I'll tell you is there was no delineation on the slave ship.
There was, though.
No, there wasn't.
Yes, there was.
The same
Some
chains
slaves
under the
came
same
from
ship.
Jamaica. Some came from Senegal. Some came from Botswana. Some came from Wakanda. They all come from different places.
Did the white man say, okay, this little area, this
They
little
did.
shit field?
They did.
No, they didn't. No, they didn't.
Yes. When, for example, in Mississippi, they needed a certain type of slave to.
But I said on the slave ship.
Yes, but then it's like trading cards when you're getting them over here. Like, you bring the cards over and you get a pack, and then from that pack, you get the ones that are best suited for the job, and then you breed them for that specific job. That's how it was. So they were delineating. If you were short and stocky, you would be chopping wood. If you were tall and long, you'd be picking cotton and apples and bananas.
That's not really delineation, though. Delineation is something different from that.
And I think you got that wrong. If you're short and stocky, you would be You know, if you would most likely be picking cotton, and if you was, tall, you would be chopping down trees and shit.
If you tall,
I
you're
mean,
gonna be
I have
picking higher
dyslexia.
cotton. You be picking
I
the
have
thing.
dyslexia, man.
Hey, listen. Okay, guys. So this is gonna be. We're gonna wrap up. So I'll take some final thoughts. We'll let Black Loki get 1 minute to drop his final thought, and then we'll go to 3-Man Podcast and close out. Go ahead, Black Loki. Your final thought. 1 minute. You're on the timer.
So my
I've set the
final
timer.
thought is I do agree with some of the things that you say, but then when you focus it on black people, I just feel
Support the
like
stream. Go ahead. Sorry.
when you do that, it creates a vacuum of hate that's generated towards black people. And then people like me who can think logically and debunk most people's stuff. Because if we're being honest, 90% of the stuff put on the internet is incorrect. And there's a lot more nuance to it. I think that we should be more open to like understanding instead of trying to make everything into a cinema about how the blacks aren't going to do anything. And I just really want you to realize that you're hurting me and your people, and you make me want to go to Africa
Yes, I do.
with my
Nothing wrong with
American
going to
dollars. I'll go to Africa and I'll live there for a day.
Okay, thank you. That'll be a good thing. 3-Man Podcast. Go ahead.
Black folks, I'm going to talk to you real quick. Let me plead with your judgment and compel with your reason real quick. Right now, what you're currently looking at in today's time, you don't have long to fix this before there's irreversible change. You won't be able to fix this. Currently, right now, if you look at it like this. If you rank all the races, put all the races together, and you rank them when it comes to certain categories like median income, certain economic factors, right? Then you put crime, abortion, so on, so on, so on. When it comes to the worst stuff as a community, we're literally ranked first. But when it comes to the stuff that is supposed to be good for a community, we're damn near ranked last. So you have a decision to make right now today. What are you going to do? Are you going to be better, or are you going to continue status quo? Because let's just be real. If tomorrow you go to the doctor and the doctor told you only 30% of your heart is working, you expect to be a dead mother sucker pretty soon, right? Okay, now in the black community, we're currently at 30%. 30% of the black community is married. The heart of every community is marriage. You're one of the lowest marriage folks in the United States. Now, in order to change a lot of the shit that is bad now, marriage, start coupling with one another. You will slowly see the crime rate go down, median income will increase, ownership, so on, so on, so on. And that's all I got for you, brother.
Hey, thank you, man. I appreciate you coming up. That was a good closeout. You're 100%
I
right.
appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. I appreciate you. You're welcome to come up anytime. Please subscribe and hit the like button on your way out. I appreciate you.
Oh, I'm going to subscribe. Dude, this was my first time seeing you. You just randomly popped on my feed on my YouTube, and I was like, what? Okay, I like what this brother is saying, man. So I appreciate you having me on, man, and I will be listening consistently now.
Yeah, thank
Appreciate
you. We
it.
over here cooking, man. Thank you. So the brother's on point, man. Black people have to start making a concerted, the same way we make a concerted effort to support the Democrats in every stupid thing that they do and go and act a fool in support of every bad policy that the Democrats cook up. We need to start making a concerted effort to increase our numbers in the categories that basically facilitate or identify prosperity and progress. We need to get our marriage numbers up. We need to get our abortion numbers down. We need to get the number of our black business owners up. I mean, there are over 2 million black millionaires in America. So I don't know how people in the comments talk about black people are oppressed. You have the ability to do every single thing you want to do in America as a black man. You go anywhere you want to. If you want to go to Africa, you get up and go. You want to go to Spain, you can get up and go. There's no one standing your, oh my God. First, to let a rhyme flow. How you doing? It's been a minute. There is no one standing in your way. The only thing standing in your way is your insecurity and self-hate. And I believe it's gotten to the point where many black people would rather destroy themselves and erase themselves than have to, deal with the responsibility and expectations that come with, making progress and fighting and working towards prosperity in this country. That's what I think. What up, Black Genius? Your microphone's broken.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead. Make it quick.
Yo, I just wanted to say that, like, I agree with a lot of the stuff that you say. My only problem is, like, the people who I see on the internet talking about this stuff, they're not, like, especially, like, your fellow guests, they're not really doing anything that I would consider, like, worth, like, you don't have the experience to really talk on anything.
What do you mean? You're driving a truck across America. That is one of the greatest ways a person can contribute to black excellence.
It's like one of the easiest jobs you can get out there.
Doesn't matter, but it is a high value job that is crucial to the operation of this country. I look at a truck driver like I look at a nurse or a doctor. Yes, it is.
I wouldn't look at them that way.
These are the type of jobs that make you a part of America, to where you are like what is it called? What is it called when they can't get rid of you? Like, you are a invaluable, indispensable. Yeah, indispensable part of America. That's how the illegal immigrants got to the point where you have politicians fighting for them, because they got in those jobs where if you get rid of them, the carpentry, the construction, the truck driving.
Yeah, but we got to understand, most people are not illegal. Like, most people are H-1B1 visas, and they're going after these high corporate jobs. So, like, we need to get more black people into corporate. We need more black people who can understand logic and nuance, and
there are more illegal
to do stuff like that.
Let me see. Are there more illegal immigrants?
Illegal immigrants aren't working as financial advisors.
Or legal. But there's way less of them.
There's less of them than H-1B1 visas?
Yes, there's way more illegal immigrants than H-1B visas.
Are you sure about that? I don't know.
Oh no, they say legal immigrants vastly outnumber illegal immigrants in the United States. There are approximately 50.2 million immigrants in the U.S., with more than 3/4, roughly 38 to 40 million, being legal immigrants. But see, this number
that's what I'm saying, because as a black person who works in corporate, and I'm around literally white people, Asian people, and Indian people all day, I'm the only black person there. And it's annoying because you don't see anybody who has a perspective in terms of an analytical mindset in order to think about the black community from that perspective. Like, yeah, being a truck driver is great, but if you're a truck driver and then your kid's a truck driver and then your kid after that's a truck driver, that's a problem.
Well, most truck drivers, their kids don't become truck drivers. They send them to college. They send them to college. Like my grandfather, he went to the Navy. Then he owned a restaurant, and then he owned some properties and stuff. But he was on us about going to school. Like, you got to go to college. He was big on college. But they're saying that in 2023 there were an estimated 14 million unauthorized immigrants who accounted for 20% of all U.S. immigration. But Biden just let in 15 million. So this is old information.
Yeah, but like from my perspective, I'm not worried about those illegal immigrants because they're not going after the jobs that I go for.
You're worried about the legal immigrants who are on
I'm worried
H-1B
about the
visas.
H-1B1 visas that can just do the work from their country, because the problem is when it comes to those people, they come to corporate and then they got contracting agencies from India where they're paying someone who would be like a VP over here, where you would get paid like $55,000 or $55 an hour to $60 an hour. They're paying an Indian dude like 20. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
I
I'm
already
like,
know that.
yeah, so that's one reason why I support Trump. I don't really care about illegal immigration. I mean, I do care about illegal immigration, but I don't really like where I'm at. I don't be seeing illegals like that.
My cousin went for a call center job right here in Long Beach, downtown Long Beach. There's a lot of Indians who work at this like call center down here. So my cousin went for a call center job. Bro, they only paying them people $17 an hour.
Yeah, and that's the problem.
Damn.
Like when it comes to them paying them low like that, then they want to try to like keep your job low in corporate. And corporate got this thing going on right now where they're like generalizing everybody's positions and stuff so that they could pay them less. Like you could be doing a whole bunch of shit, and then they be like, well, normally the description would be of a higher position, but they got you at a lower position because they're bringing in these random people. Like at my corporate building, which has very little Indian people in the population, we have a whole floor of Indian people calling people in Atlanta, contractors that they fucking got from India, shipped over here. They're paying their room and board, and now they're working in customer service. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
My cousin is in tech. He's in tech, and he was like, Indians will tell another Indian, like, you ain't even got to know nothing. Just fake it till you make it.
They don't know nothing. And
they'll
that's
be
the
applying
problem.
for jobs that they're not even qualified for. But whereas like Americans will look at stuff like, yo, we not qualified for that job. My cousin was like, bro, just apply.
There's a lot of, that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of jobs that Black people are qualified for, because like I've worked in a warehouse, managing a warehouse, all the way up to like working in corporate. And the people that I was working with in the warehouse was way smarter than the people that I work with in corporate buildings.
I mean, yeah,
they just need to learn the operational processes of the job, because that's all it is. It's not like you're sitting there quantifying and calculating shit all day. What you're doing is you're looking at a document that tells you word for word what programs you need to click on and what you need to do. And that's the stuff that they have Black people doing all the time at these regular jobs. And the managers, they don't know how to do shit.
I was a manager of a grocery store for many years. And man, when I tell you, man, a bookkeeper in a grocery store, just a bookkeeper, someone who just reconciles a safe, is more knowledgeable than like 90% of the people on the planet. Just understanding the concept of like balancing safes, reconciling safes, that is a very like dealing with like if someone's stealing and being able to track that down, that shit is complicated. Because they made me do it for a year, and I was like, this shit is hard.
It's a very good skill set. And with a job like that, you can go into like accounts receivable for a corporation where all you're doing is just collecting checks from companies that are paying for a product that they bought. Or you could, and then after going into accounts receivable, you can get some IT certs and then become like a accountant in one of their accounting divisions. And a lot of these companies, their job titles are very singular, meaning like they're not really doing a bunch of broad range shit. They're really just focusing on one type of thing. So the issue is like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't really promote like people being truck drivers or people working
there's nothing wrong with truck driving. Just like my boy Sucker Season LA right here, shout out to him, is saying, what's wrong with truck driving? That's literally changing Black folks' lives, which is true, man.
I mean, it's changing Black folks' lives,
truck
but what is
drivers
the life
making bank
expectancy?
though.
What is the life expectancy of a truck driver? Half of them are like
89?
overweight, out of shape, obese, diabetic.
Yeah, but they can go work out, man. I seen some truck
but they're
drivers
not going to do that because most truck drivers are lazy. They don't want to do anything but just
so we can say we change the culture, but definitely truck driving is one of those because like
So
Let
if
me
we
tell
had
you
a bunch of
something.
black people become truck drivers, you think that would change the culture more so than a bunch
If
of
the
black people becoming like engineers and analysts
if
and
the
stuff?
economy collapsed, you would lose your job before a truck driver.
No, I won't.
Yes, you would.
We've already
They'll-
had 100. See, the thing about it is it depends on what type of work you do. I'm too integral.
Exactly.
I'm
But
too integral.
truck drivers are integral to everything, bro. The economy could collapse.
Yeah,
The
but
supply
the supply
chains
truck
don't
drivers
stop.
is there. You can easily replace a truck driver. It's not that hard. Me, you can't easily replace me. That's the
No.
difference.
I don't know if you could replace truck drivers that easily, bro.
You can. They're
How?
contracted.
Do you know how to drive a
There's a
truck?
lot of companies contracting out truck
But
drivers.
do you know how to drive a truck?
Hell no. I don't even want to get. I don't want to be nowhere near the motherfuckers.
I think as a corporate person, you should make that, like, put that on your bucket list. Learn how to
Hell
drive
no.
a big rig.
I just want to drive a small car. I don't even want a big car.
But just learn how to do it just in case. Like if a woman ever falls and knocks herself out and wake up with Alzheimer's and marries you, that'll be a cool little flex. That'd be a cool little flex, bro. You just be like, look, baby, I know how to get.
We're gonna have to call an Uber.
Hey, no, bro. My cousin, he drove a truck, and I didn't even know he could drive a truck, but it was a truck like what happened? It was a truck like I worked, like I told you, I worked at a grocery store. So one of the drivers, he gets out of his truck and then he goes in the bathroom and he's like in there for hours and hours, but his truck is blocking the like little driveway, the bay where another truck is trying to get in. And my cousin was like, man, I could move that truck. He jumped in and just moved it. I was like, wow, you know how to drive a truck, which he got fired for that, but still, it was pretty funny and it was crazy that he knew how to do that. I was like, that's a nice little flex, and he's a truck driver right now.
Sure. I mean, I give props to them for wanting to be around that big ass robot, but I'm not. That ain't
big ass robot. You are stupid. All right, man. Look, Loki, it's great talking with you, but I gotta go, man. Hey, I'm thinking about getting a corporate job, man. I might have to go into that
Dude, go in the
field.
corporate, man. They got fucking work from home positions. I've been working from home for like 7 years.
Hook
dude.
it up. Hey, let me send you. Let me send you my email. Actually, I'll send you my phone number. Don't be prank calling me though, because you know you weird. But I'm gonna send you my phone number in the back chat. Hit me up because I'm looking for a work from home job. You think you can help me get one?
Well, yeah. I mean, all right. So anyone who really wants to work from home job, the best way to get
Don't tell everybody. Shh.
Oh, you don't want them to know?
Hell no. I'll tell them after you tell me. Then I'll tell them. We gatekeeping shit over here, okay?
Man,
we might have some illegal immigrants watching.
Shoot, they're not going to hire them. It costs too much money.
Right.
They got to hire a contracting agency from their country to hire them. And a lot of these corporations, they're moving a lot of their IT and stuff down to Latin America right now.
Well, here's the thing. Somebody in the comments is saying cybersecurity, but with cybersecurity, because I looked into that, it's like they don't want you working all out the country. Cybersecurity will let you work from home, but if you say, "Oh, I'm going to Africa, can I work over there for 2 months?" They like, hell no.
Good. I mean, like they ain't gonna let. So when it comes to like networks and servers and stuff like that, like imagine Facebook, and then you have the Facebook extension with US, and then you have EA and stuff like that. So if you have a country you have a company that's multi-country, then essentially what happens is you have to get credentials to use the website from that country, and then you have to use a routing and PIN from that country when you're over there. So it's just a hassle in terms of IT, because then your manager has to submit a ticket. You have to make sure that you have the access to whatever country's portal you're going to be using in order to do your work. And that's the reason why they don't want you really traveling like that. But I mean, domestically, you can travel wherever the fuck you want.
Hey man, I'll make a deal with y'all. Y'all donate to the stream and I'll let bro drop the work from home information. We ain't giving nothing away. We ain't giving shit away. That's part of being black right there. My blackness just came out. Nah, but you can tell them what's the best way if you're trying to work from home.
Okay, so the best way to work from home it's the same thing that they've been telling people since high school. You need to know the Microsoft suite. You need to know Microsoft Excel, Microsoft Outlook, Microsoft Access, which is like an intro to databases. And then when you learn those 3 programs, you need to apply for administrative assistant positions. Most administrative assistant positions, your workload or the things that you have to be figured out is documented on a thing called an SOP, which is known as a standard operation procedure. So whenever you need to do something, you just go into your file folder, look through the SOPs that are on the network drive, click on the SOP, read the SOP, and then do whatever they're telling you. It's step for step. And then if they don't have an SOP, when you do it, they'll help you do it, and then they'll make an SOP. And then when you do it over and over, you look at the different positions in the company. And then from there, you can go into their universities that they have. Like a lot of these companies, they have like learning platforms that you can learn from once you get into the company. But administrative assistant is the easiest way to get in. You can get those through a contracting position. And then also by reaching out to people on LinkedIn who already work for the company, you can have them recommend you so that your resume gets pushed forward. And then when it comes to your resume, you just need to make sure that you're using the STAR method when you're talking about your different skill sets and bullet points. So STAR means like situation, the situation of what you're doing, the task that you specifically have to do, the action that you take, and the result. And essentially every one of your bullet points on your resume needs to have that. And then when you're talking in an interview, you need to make sure that those 4 things are expressed upon.
Okay, STAR method. Yeah, because I'm ready to start living the laptop lifestyle, bro. I got to get out of America.
Wait, why you got to get out of America to live the laptop lifestyle?
Because I got to go oversee my investments in Africa, bro.
You ain't got no investments in Africa.
Yes, I do. What are you talking about? Look at you, hater, bro. I really do. We gotta go put a well on this property, man. We gotta put a borehole this summer. So
and who live at the property?
Nobody lives at the property. It's a farm.
So why you need a well there?
I need a borehole. Why do you need water at a farm on a farm? Okay.
Nobody's farming there though? You said there's no one there.
Yeah, we're growing.
So you're going to become a farmer?
I mean, I'll be a farmer in name only. I'm not going to do the work. The Africans are going to do the work. Slavery 2.0.
Jesus.
Slavery 2.0. Hey, look. I pay them a fair wage. They get paid more than the Indians at those call centers, that's for sure.
Nah, they don't.
This one was paying $17 an hour, they do.
I mean, in Africa, you probably pay a farm hand like $2 a day or some shit.
$1 a day. No, I'm just kidding.
$1 a day. $3 a month.
These guys are getting more than that. They're getting more than $2.
I don't know about that. It depends on the country. Go tonight. Look at the average wage of an average person in Nigeria. Like how much they make a month. It's like $10.
Nigeria is a whole different animal, bro.
Then what animal we talking about in Africa? That's the model. They got the biggest economy.
No, that's just because they got the most people. That ain't got nothing to do with like the money that's flowing through everybody's hands. I pay my guys pretty good, man. They get paid a good wage.
$5 an hour.
They get paid probably a little bit more than that. Because
I
know that. I'm not telling you.
Sure, you better not be poisoning us. Don't bring no poison food over here.
All I know is now they putting they paying their kids school fees on time and having new babies and shit. And if you having more babies, you definitely making some good money.
Sure, they gonna have babies regardless. Some babies probably helping them do the work.
My future employees.
No, they work for free. The parents are just laying in bed while the kids are doing the actual job. Shame on you, Brenda.
It's okay. Don't even worry about those kids. I'll take care of all them kids. Them my kids now. Hey, but all right, man. I'll talk to you later, Black Genius. Hey, hit me up. I sent you my real phone number in the back chat. Hit me up because I'm going to talk to you more about that job stuff.
All right. Sounds good. I'll shoot you a text.
All right, cool. Thank you. All right, y'all. We out of here. Thank y'all so much for watching this. I appreciate every single thing you do for me in this channel. Till the next time, take care of yourselves. But most importantly, please take care of each other. Peace.